All right, since I'm not going to be here on Monday, just assume I'm assigning this on Monday. I'll have to go over project 3 now, so y'all can at least get started on this one. This one's a little different because it's going to involve more researching binary trees than anything else. We have talked about binary trees being balanced. Hopefully you can, well, all right, why do we want a binary tree balanced?
Better searching.
Better, yeah, so we can guarantee the log-in searching, correct? Right. Okay. There are many, many, many algorithms out there in order to maintain a balanced binary tree. The first one and the easiest one that I would recommend looking at is called AVL, but there are plenty more. You've got red, black, scapegoat, 2-3, AA, splay, tree. There's plenty others. Your job here is to basically pick 2 implementations, and you can go on the internet and take all the code you want for this project. It's perfectly fine. But you're going to take the 2 implementations, and you're going to compare and contrast them for me and generate a little report. That's really what the project is. So first, step 1, pick 2 balanced binary search tree implementations. They have to maintain at least some balance. Now, some of them will not get perfect balance. They may have a 2-level balancing, and that's perfectly fine. That's okay. But just as long as they guarantee at least some type of balancing inside of it. Then you need to go in and look at which performs better or worse in what situations. So tell me the situation where one exhibits better performance than the other. Maybe one does better on inserting, and the other one does better on deleting, or one does better in searching because of the way it's done in the background. Or there's certain situations of inserting that this one performs better, but there's other situations of inserting that this one performs better. So you're really going to have to look into the different cases and try and figure out which one performs better than the other. B, tell me why this is the case. And then 3, very important. Oh, do you have a question? 3, generate test cases showing one performing better than the other. Generate a performance graph using the timings that we've talked about beforehand. I'm going to give you the binary tree implementation I'm expecting you to stick to down here. But you may add any functions you want. If there's a particular function that a certain tree implements very well in, you can go ahead and add that functionality to your binary tree implementation. That's perfectly fine. Again, internet. You may fully use the internet for this project except for generation of the performance graphs. Don't steal the performance graphs from other people. It's not going to work out very well. It won't make sense. You have to do those on your own, but you can use everything on the internet for this. Fair warning, there's a lot of information on red-black, but a lot of students have come back and said that the red-black implementations they find online are faulty. So just keep that in mind when you look into it. There are plenty of books that explain red-black very well, and if you implement it from the explanation, it does work out. Yes?
So the different implementations that we could use are different ways to set up a binary tree?
Are different ways to maintain the balancedness of a binary tree, to keep it balanced. And this balance of a binary tree is different than your project 2 balancing. That's something else. Balance of binary tree. We'll go ahead and go up on the board just to make sure that it's clear. The easiest way to think of it is that a binary tree is balanced if there are no extra levels. Or, in other words, the longest path, the number of jumps in the longest path is always less than 2 to the log-in plus 1. That's kind of convoluted, but let's go ahead and give you an example real quick. All right, I don't know why I just erased that binary tree because I could have easily have used it. All right, start giving me numbers.
4.
4, all right. So 4, balanced. Another number.
65.
45. Still balanced, because while this one's empty, you don't have any extra levels. Another one.
6.
6. 6. Still balanced. You haven't created an extra level unnecessarily. Another number.
Wait.
49.
49.
Shouldn't 6 be to the right?
Ah, thank you. I'm such a liar. Not balanced anymore. Because 6 should be up here and you have an extra level. So we can easily fix that. in this situation, one of the implementations may do this, the other one may not, and then you put the 4 over here. We're back to being balanced. All right, another number.
7.
7. Still balanced.
2.
2. Still balanced.
1.
1. Are we balanced? No. Now, some implementations will say they're going to allow this and say that you can have 1 extra level. You just can't have 2 extra levels. That's okay. That's still relatively good balancing. But we're going to say in this argument it's not balanced. Let's see. How can we fix this?
Why was the 7 when the 7? Why was that balanced? Why is the F?
All right. The 7 could have been here, it could have been over here, whatever. It's still balanced because you haven't added an extra level. It's not left justified, which is probably what you're thinking. Left justified means that the number's always added to the left and moved to the right. We're not talking about left justification, we're talking about balancing here. It's still balanced because you haven't had an extra level. In other words, there wasn't an extra spot above it that you could put the 7.
Oh, okay.
That might be another way of thinking of it. And then what do we say, 2? Yeah, we added 2. That's okay because there's no spot above it, so to speak, that you could have put it. 1, not balanced anymore because this spot is empty and that spot's empty. So we could come up with ways to fix it. Just looking at this one, we could put the 2 right here, the 4 over here, and then change this to a 1, and we're back to being balanced. The point of this is once it gets really big, you're trying to just fill up the last level, so to speak.
So that it doesn't just go off one thing.
Yeah, you're never going to get a linked list because a linked list is when you would have that O of n search time. This makes it so you will always have log of n search time, although insert has become more complicated. Notice there's also delete, which could make it happen again, but before we look into that, give me some more numbers.
16.
16, all right. Are we balanced?
No.
No. There are many different algorithms. I'm just following an easy one in my head. Are we balanced?
Yes.
All right. All right, another number.
8.
8. All right, give me a moment. Okay. So, deleting may mess it up depending on how you delete. For example, let's say we delete the 16. Well, one solution there is to pull the least of the greatest number, so we could put the 45 up here. And is the tree balanced anymore?
No.
No, so now you're going to have to rebalance it. And in this case, one way we could do it is just move the 8 up here and then move the 45 back. And now we're back to being balanced. So keep that in mind. Inserting and deleting can break the balancing of your tree. But you're going to find, I'm telling you to go on the internet and find the implementations and use them and understand them for your project. Obviously do this after you do your lab. It'll make more sense. But you're free to use any implementation. Okay, do you understand balancing right now? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Yes. Again, warning, I've been told that online versions of red-black trees are faulty. So try a different one, or you can go and find the pseudocode for it. Wikipedia has a pseudocode for all of this, and follow that and implement it. Red-black, if you're coding things from scratch, is a little easier in my case, and I believe in the other ones. But you know, if you can just find the code for 2-3 or a tree, then just use that. Okay, that's really the main part of the project. You don't have to implement all of this. Well, I'm really not going to be testing, I won't be testing pre-order and post-order, but I will be testing in order, so you should be able to at least copy that from your previous lab and put it in there. This online version goes through the pseudocode of a lot of different implementations, so you can look at that if you want to. Analysis, make sure you describe one situation. Again, want to know one situation where one is better than the other, and that's for both, so you can have 2 in total. The metrics, you can have insertion, retrieval, deletion, memory usage, or any other functional test. Maybe there's a special function that works very well on. That's perfectly okay. As with most metrics, make a line graph. Let's see, size is the X, time is on the Y, or you can actually reverse it if you really want to. Write your test cases. Don't forget about memory management. And let's see. Due November 8th, so in 3 weeks. That way we'll have plenty of time for our final project of the class. What's that?
That'll be a month. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it be due right before the end of the year?
Yep. Yep. Right before your finals.
So is this the last project you're assigning, or are you assigning one more?
I'm assigning one more project after this.
Okay.
Your final project.
So you
project 4.
probably have 2 projects then assigned. If this one's at the end of the year, you probably have to put the other project somewhere between them.
Other project? We're having 4 projects, right?
Yeah.
This is the third one. He's got
And this is going to be the 3rd project.
Yeah. So when's the 4th one going to be assigned?
It'll be assigned on November 8th.
Okay.
And how are we looking at, like, will our lecture end before all the labs are due?
Currently, yeah, I think we're going to be a little early as long as we keep on it, even though I'm not going to be here on Monday. So stay on it. Don't make me reteach things. Again, no teamwork, solo project, but you may use any resource on the internet. Just make sure you cite it. Just make sure you give me a citation so I know where you got it from. Otherwise, it's plagiarism, and that's bad. Okay. Any questions on this project? I've been told with this project is it does seem nice that I'm letting you use any other people's code, but other people's code's terrible. So
The internet is accessible.
yeah, it's accessible. So
Can't find anything useful.
yeah. So yeah, the double-edged sword there. I'm going to tell you right now, AVL probably the easiest one to get a hold of, and if you can't get a good implementation, you could probably write it yourself fairly quickly. The other ones are going to be the ones where you're going to need to sit down and research and figure out what to do. So I highly suggest AVL first. All right, yeah, any other questions? Great, we have 30 minutes before lab time starts, so you have an hour and a half. So go ahead and get started on your labs, and I will then see you a week from today. Have a good weekend.